everybody. Happy Friday. Today is April 24th, 2020, episode 40 of your morning mug. Still here, still going strong, still have some mugs left to go. So, getting us started, this day in history, 1479 BCE, Pharaoh Thutmose III ascends to the throne, takes over for his father Thutmose II, but he's kind of on the young side, so his stepmom / aunt, Hatshepsut, takes over. One of the 3 or 4 books I have going right now is about 6 influential females in ancient Egyptian history, and Hatshepsut definitely was one of them. She's one of my homegirls. I have a list of these historical women that I'm like, you're amazing, I love you. She is on that list. This day in history, 1184 BCE, is the traditional date for the Greeks entering Troy with the Trojan horse. And a little shout out to my Hershey High School fellow alums. Go Trojans. 1888, Eastman Kodak was founded. 1907, this was actually really exciting. So the one website that I use has dozens and dozens and dozens of events for a particular day, and every once in a while they have, it's kind of like a subheading almost, and it has a picture and a little more detail. This was on there, and I was like, yeah, that's exciting. This day in history, 1907, Hershey Park officially opens. So one of the many projects that Milton Hershey had for the betterment of his employees. Even though we can't go to Hershey Park right now, happy birthday, Hershey Park. Birthdays, William de Koenig, the artist, Barbra Streisand, Kelly Clarkson. Lots of things going on this time in April. So, I was actually up really early this morning. We're talking 5:30, and I'm like, all right, let's get started. So I took out the trash because I forgot to do it last night. Felt really good about that. And emptied all the trash cans and went through the fridge. Luckily, there wasn't a lot of things that had spoiled. I've been working really hard to make sure that not being wasteful. So did that this morning. I did a second coat of paint. You can see some of my, there we go. A second coat of paint on a room upstairs. Making progress there. And also this morning, because I was listening to it, I finished a book, and I'd like to share it with you. So I finished listening to / reading Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, Stories from a South African Childhood. I've had this one for a little while, and I've been wanting to read it. So this was the perfect opportunity. And one thing that I do if I have a memoir or autobiography is I check to see if there's an audiobook with the author actually reading it, him or herself. Hearing these stories about his childhood in his own voice was very, very powerful, and it was actually quite beneficial. Trevor Noah is what's called a polyglot. Your word of the day, polyglot. He speaks multiple languages, English, German, Afrikaans, Zulu, Xhosa. There's a handful of other African languages that he speaks. Very, very impressive. But, there's some dialogue in here, and being able to hear it versus if I were to just read it, that means a lot to me. Some things that stood out on this one. Trevor Noah and I, by the way, he's a stand-up comedian and host of The Daily Show. He and I are very close in age, but just hearing some of the vast differences in our upbringing and our childhood. Not only are we different genders, we're different races. We grew up in different parts of the world. And he grew up in South Africa at the end of apartheid. So apartheid, that legal segregation between races, and not just whites and blacks, but lots of interesting laws and expectations in between. So highly recommended. This is a book that's normally at school, but I brought it home because I wanted to read it. If someone would like to read it, let me know. I'll throw it in the mail to you. I also have the audiobook that I could send your way if you were interested. So that was an excellent read, and got through it pretty quickly, actually. Just about 2 days, because I had it going as I was doing dishes or cooking or out walking with the dog, and got through it pretty fast. So this is our 40th episode. So fabulous 40. I have some little trivia / factoids for you about the number 40. So let me find the appropriate accompaniment. There we go. All right, so 40, F-O-R-T-Y, is the only number in the English language whose letters appear in alphabetical order. Minus 40 degrees, or 40 below, is the only temperature that is the same in both Fahrenheit and Celsius. And you may have already seen this one on social media. When the plague made its way to Europe, ships would be isolated in the harbor for 40 days before passengers or crew could go ashore. So the Italian word for 40 is quaranta, hence quarantine. There are 40 spaces on the standard Monopoly board, proving that life is a gamble. The game gives players equal odds, so 1 in 40, of going directly to jail or winning the free parking. 40 is the maximum number of players on a Major League Baseball team that they can sign and have on their roster at one time. It took chemists 40 attempts to develop the magical spray we know as, wait for it, WD-40 for water displacement, the 40th formula, hence WD-40. And also, happy Friday. The 40-hour work week, which we learned earlier, was proposed by which U.S. president? Herbert Hoover. All sorts of fun 40. All sorts of fun 40. All right. Have not done this in a few days. It's time. So my original plan of trying some Jeopardy, it was okay, but I realized it's better when you have people to pick questions. So it might not be Jeopardy, but we'll come up with something. All right, today we have connecting Drew Barrymore and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay, so connecting Drew Barrymore and Lin-Manuel Miranda. I erased the board. I used it for something else, but through family relationships, roles that they have played, significant trivia, just saying that they're both celebrities is not good enough nor close enough. And I am going to get another tune going for all of us. We haven't done this one for a while. Yeah, okay. Drew and Lin-Manuel Miranda, feel free to play along. Done? Oh, what's the name of that movie? Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon, and it's a baseball movie. I'm gonna have to use I don't know the name of the movie. Some of you are yelling at your phone right now because you're like, Lauren, you should know this. I got it. What is the name of that movie? Fever Pitch. Fever Pitch. All right. Done. All right, here's where we're at. So remember, one of the things you can do, jobs, significant events. Lin-Manuel Miranda performed at the White House during the Obama presidency to perform a few numbers from his upcoming historical musical, Hamilton. So that was one of the first times that some of those had been performed, and that video went viral. Another specialty performance that went viral was Obama on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, slow jamming the news. I'll put a link in there for you. All right. So that was also a very significant event on the Tonight Show. So I saw on a list somewhere that was like one of the top ones for Jimmy. Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore starred together in Fever Pitch. There it is. Sister hadn't lost her touch yet. All right, maybe getting up early is good. I'm sleeping in tomorrow. I know I am. So here's today's mug of the day. You've seen 2 previous ones. This is the 3rd in a series of 4 that came with little dessert plates. And en français, livre, that is book. So that's why I attempted, remember, I can't draw to save my life, but that's why I tried to draw a little book on my mug. You see, books. Books. Because one positive thing for me right now in quarantine is being able to allow myself the time to read for fun. I have that Egyptian Pharaoh's book going on right now. I started listening to an autobiography / memoir of Gene Kranz. If you're familiar with Apollo 13, the character played by Ed Harris, the guy with the white vest that's in the control center, his biography. I'm reading the Tuesday Club Murders by Agatha Christie. I'm actually reading that one. And I have a whole stack of other things, but it's felt really, really good. And one thing that I do with the books is I have this little journal that I actually started in the back. When I journal, I start in the back and work my way forward so I don't have to go back through everything that I've already done. I don't know if that's weird, but the oldest one in here is 2010. I started writing down books as I finished them, and then eventually it morphed into giving them a rating on a 1 to 5 scale, how much I like them. It's sad how different points in my life, there are huge gaps of time where I was not reading for fun or reading for pleasure. And then there are certain years, like 2012 was a busy year. Like, these are all my entries for 2012. That was a lot. 2013 was okay. 2014 was a definite no. 2015 is blank. Maybe I just didn't write them down. I don't know. But what I've actually done for 2020, social distancing and stay-at-home order. And I've written the books that I've completed so far. I think I've already talked to you about Mr. Churchill's Secretary, Scarpetta. I listened to a short story by Agatha Christie called The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding. It was actually pretty good. It was only 45 minutes, but I still put that down. So it's a nice sense of gratification. And just this morning, I wrote Born a Crime, Stories from South African Childhood by Trevor Noah. So anyway, Friday, weekend, well-deserved, everyone. So make that to-do list. Check those things off. It's amazing that it's not even 8:30 and I've gotten all these things done. Hopefully I can keep that momentum going. So until I see you tomorrow, behave, be good, be kind, take care of each other. Please continue to recycle, wash those hands, follow those stay-at-home orders, don't touch your face, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.